Hello and welcome to Music Appreciation Online. My name is Josh Flegg. I'll be your instructor for this course this semester. So I just want to take a quick minute to introduce myself to you and to give you some important information that you'll need in order to be successful in this class. Again, my name is Josh. Please feel free to address me by my first name as we correspond through email, discussion board, that type of thing. Cowley's kind of first name basis, that's kind of the Cowley way. So feel free to call me Josh. First of all, just thank you for taking this class. Music Appreciation, this is a class that I've taught for a number of years. It's been a class that I've taught virtually every year of my teaching career since beginning in 2006. And it's a class that I really enjoy teaching, and hopefully it's a class that you'll enjoy taking. Hopefully you'll learn something from it and have a good experience along the way. Just a little bit about myself, my background. I am an Ark City native. I graduated Ark City High School in '97, and upon graduating high school, I went straight on to Cowley as a student myself, and then transferred on to Wichita State University, where I earned a bachelor's and a master's degree in music education. So I've been teaching music for a number of years. I started my career in 2006. I was actually the band director at Cowley for a number of years. So I taught on campus there, and then after that, I went on to do some teaching in the public schools where I taught band and also orchestra for quite a number of years. And so at this point in time, my teaching emphasis is strictly with this class. And again, it's a class that I've taught from the very beginning and continue to do so. And so that's just a little bit about me and my teaching background. I'll say a few things about the class itself. First of all, hopefully it goes without saying that, I think it's a much better experience, if it's something that we can do face to face, be that as it may. We're in an online situation here, and we try to make the best of it that we can. Again, I would prefer to have everybody in a room together where we could kind of get to know each other a little bit and actually experience listening to music together. That's really what this class is all about, is about listening to music, certainly developing a vocabulary and learning some historical things, a historical context and basis for some of the development of things over the years. But really the main emphasis is just to listen to music and experience music. And when you do that together in a classroom setting, I think you get a lot more out of it. But be that as it may, in this particular environment, that still really is the emphasis that I try to take with it, and is to just experience the music in a personal way. And when you think about the name of the textbook, so I've taught this I've taught this class a number of times and used several different textbooks. I think the one we're using right now is actually quite a good book. Hopefully you'll get a lot out of it. But that said, the name of the textbook is The Enjoyment of Music. And, that really is, I think, that is in keeping with my philosophy about music, which is to say that, music is something to be enjoyed. It is a gift that we have as human beings. And, when you try to tie that into the idea of the name of the class being Music Appreciation as opposed to music enjoyment, there's a lot of kinds of music I think you can learn to appreciate, but at the same time you may not necessarily enjoy it so much. But hopefully that's something that we can figure out together, is this idea of enjoying the experience that we have. And I'll tell you, when we actually get into the textbook, after getting some vocabulary and looking at some basic ideas, the first style of music that we're going to look at and listen to and consider is Gregorian chant. So if you have no idea what Gregorian chant is, you might be surprised. It's quite an interesting type of music. It's not the type of music that you listen to every day. And again, going back to like the classroom setting, I've taught this so many times, and a lot of times at first exposure to it, I've seen kids fall asleep in class, it's that type of thing. But hopefully you'll take a little bit different approach to it, that you'll have more of an open mind with it, and you'll learn to appreciate it, perhaps even enjoy a lot of what you listen to. So I say we start with Gregorian chant. What we're really going to be looking at is the development of Western music, what we call Western music, over the course of about 1,500 years or so. We begin with the fall of the Roman Empire, and we trace this development all the way up into about the early 20th century. And by the time we get to that point, it gets a little bit bizarre, it gets a little bit abstract, gets a little bit out there. But all that said, that's kind of the path that we're going to take. And so you're going to hear and be exposed to lots of different kinds of music, a lot of which you've probably never heard before. And at first listen, it may seem a little bit maybe inaccessible or maybe, I don't know, maybe just not your cup of tea. But all that said, I hope I hope you'll approach it with an open mind and come to the table with an eagerness and readiness to learn. And I do think that the textbook lays things out in a pretty good way that makes it enjoyable and accessible to you. So anyway, that's kind of gives you an idea what we're going to get into as far as like the mechanics of things. Each learning module is going to open at 6 a.m. on Monday morning each week. And so it's really important that as you read through the instructions for any given week, that you understand like whatever is assigned for a given week is going to be due before the next learning module opens. So if it opens at 6 a.m. on Monday morning, you've got pretty much the whole week. And then all that work will be due before the next learning module opens at 6 a.m. on the next Monday morning. So as far as, late work is concerned, that type of thing, I mean, I'm pretty easygoing where that's concerned. A little bit of communication on your end would certainly be helpful, but the main thing is you don't want to get too far behind. You really want to be self-guided and self-directed. I think you'll find that the assignments are pretty doable. They're not, I'm not trying to make this super time consuming on your end. I just want you to get some experience and some exposure to some things, and so hopefully you'll find that it's a pretty doable class. If you do end up getting behind with your studies or something along those lines, life does happen, things do happen. Just make sure you communicate with me and let me know what's going on, and I'm sure we can work things out as we go. As far as your grade is concerned, this is all in the syllabus. Of course, you need to read the syllabus carefully for all this info. But just to let you know, the day-to-day of work, quizzes and various assignments throughout the week, that comprises 60% of your grade. Then we'll have 2 exams. We'll have a midterm exam and a final exam. Each of those was worth 15% of your grade. And then there's also an essay assignment, which is essentially it's basically like a 3 to 5 page paper that I'm going to have you write. The subject being, I want you to pick a song that is important to you, that's had a personal meaning, personal impact on your life, and do some musical analysis on it, and to discuss a little bit about the personal meaning it has to you. So that's worth 10% of your grade. So the weekly assignments, a couple of tests, an essay. Again, it should be a pretty doable thing for you, and hopefully it's something that you get a meaningful experience out of. So I think that's all I have for now. Again, thank you for enrolling. Thank you for taking this class. If you have any questions along the way, please do not hesitate to send me an email, and I'll get back to you just as quickly as I can. Again, as an online situation, you really have to be self-guided, self-directed, self-motivated, and don't let yourself get behind. Make sure that you stay up on your studies. And again, I think you'll find this particular class is a pretty doable thing. It's not going to be super time consuming on your end of it. So anyway, I look forward to meeting each of you and getting to know you a little bit. And so if you have any questions, please let me know. And in the meantime, thank you again, and we'll talk to you later.